This video is going to be about my journey for the 8-week training for the Murph challenge. In the past, I've never been able to do it, so I wanted to take on this challenge to train myself so that I could do it at the end and I could complete it. What is the Murph? The Murph is a workout completed in 1 hour. You have to complete a 1 mile run first, then you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then a 1 mile run. This is the advanced version, ideally with a weighted vest. I did it without one because it's just my situation right now and that's okay. I was able to complete it. I wasn't able to do it in the past. That's because I had the training that I set up and I worked up towards it to increase my volume. That's what I'm gonna explain in this video on how I did that. Tips I'd give you for if you're gonna do it to avoid injury and burnout and not being able to show up consistently, being dehydrated, that kind of stuff. I'll walk through the whole scenario and give you some tips so that way you can take it on. At the end of the video, if this is something you want to do, definitely check out in the description. I'll have a download for the free workout program where you can jump in at beginner, intermediate, or advanced. 8-week program for you wherever you want to step up and do it. And you're gonna be able to complete that challenge difficulty by the end of the 8 weeks. You'll see a difference, I can guarantee it, mentally and physically when you get to the ending. Let's review the 8-week journey and I'll drop tips along the way.
Halfway through the workout and it's pretty tiring. Definitely taking the rest breaks. I'm stretching them a bit. Like I said, I'm a bit tired today. Workout 1 done. Definitely not ready for that capacity. My body was feeling a little weak today coming into it. By the time I got to round 5, because I was doing 6 rounds today, just wanted to give up.
I actually think it's hilarious because I was tired on round 5, which is funny to me because now that's like a basic common workout to me. Like I actually wouldn't get tired till like 6 or 7. So to be bagged and exhausted at 5 really goes to show me how much my capacity has increased.
All right, time to finish the run. Today, my ankles are a bit sore from running last week. Was able to do the workouts, definitely tiring. Running has been a thing for me that's been a challenge in general. So something I have to work on. Super important to mobilize and stretch. I'm feeling very, very tight in my glutes. Recovery is super important along with nutrition. So what you're eating and sleep. I don't do fucking steroids and things like that. So I gotta do it the old natural way, which is putting a lot of effort and work into my sleep and what I'm eating so I can get proper recovery, so I can get back out and keep training.
Definitely running was a challenge starting off and probably for most of the challenge because I've never really ran that much before. So to just add in a mile run at the beginning and the ending of every single workout was a lot for like my ankles. Trying to find a better spot? She's like, this spot's better and I'm gonna bite you. My calves and my glutes were like chronically sore for probably 4 or 5 weeks of the program. So that's something I would have to always kind of be aware of, mobilize, get good electrolytes, mobilize prior to running, mobilize on recovery days, and just really prioritize that and be aware of it. When you're doing this challenge, be really aware of maybe something that's feeling tight or is continuously coming up and being an issue. Pay attention to it and do something to it to help it. It's a bit of a marathon, and if you're not taking care of it, it's gonna really hold you back and potentially stop you from actually finishing the challenge.
Definitely feeling it. My shoulders, my front shoulders are, front of my delts are super sore from doing more push-ups volume-wise. So I gotta really be really careful with the joint and the ligaments. They take a lot longer to heal, so a deeper ache when the ligaments are a little bit more sore than the muscles. It's a lot more dense. Feels almost like a little nervy. Pull-ups are pretty challenging. Had to really like stop and take a break at about 8 reps, so 80% of the way, and just do 1 rep at a time for the last couple, like 3 sets. It's days like today that matter the most because I really didn't want to work out today, to be honest. Building that mental fortitude and grit to just show up and do it anyway. Chronically always feeling sore in my legs, my glutes. I mobilize, take it easy, just kind of be what it is with the high volume of this workout. We're at the end of week 3, last workout, and I'm gonna cut it a bit short today. Finished about 80% of the workout, but I'm just feeling too exhausted.
Obviously, it's apparent at week 3 was when I started to see that recovery was gonna be a challenge and I had to really, really prioritize. It's so much volume, so consistently, which is great. It worked really well in terms of making progress and be able to complete the challenge and building strength, building volume. But I had to really make sure I prioritized it and paid a lot of attention to it and respected it because you can really hurt yourself if you just ignore it and keep pushing. I was talking about my shoulder and you know, that could have ended up being an injury if I didn't take the moment to step back and really spend some time recovering, doing some mobility, resting. Super crucial because it's an intense workout and you go for a long time. So just really make sure that you are getting recovery in. It's a training program. You're not like, you don't have to complete every single workout to the T. Take a little bit of breaks if you need it, because you're just trying to build up for the test.
Definitely challenging for my body to get used to the new volume. My lesson of the day, I did hydrate, but it's definitely a big priority to make sure you have electrolytes, because if you don't, it's gonna be exhausting when you're in Tulum. I don't think I've tried to do 10 pull-ups, more than 10 pull-ups in a row in a while. Granted, I was touching the ground, but that bar's pretty slippery, so pretty difficult, but I was able to do 20. Definitely the most I've ever done, so I guess the training pays off, eh? Running was probably the hardest. It's rainy season right now, so it's super humid. I think it's like 85 or 90% humidity. And living in Canada for 11 years, not used to humidity like this, so pretty hard to breathe. Makes it its own challenge, but that's the point.
Hydration was something that's super important for me through the whole challenge because it's really hot where I am. You got to have it no matter where you are, even if it's hot or cold. You do need to hydrate. Pretty awesome how halfway through the challenge, I've already increased my pull-ups by like 8 reps in one go, which goes to show you that it works if you just put in the work, do the training, get the recovery. Yeah, the running was difficult. You know, it's just hard to breathe when you feel like you're breathing in like a steam room kind of vibe some of these days out here. That definitely challenged me with the breathing. That's part of the whole thing about challenging yourself, is taking on things that are difficult so that you can increase and improve yourself. And it's gonna be hard in the moment. You're just gonna build better resilience and just be better off in the future.
Real talk, kind of sucks, but it's the reality sometimes. I didn't warm up enough, and my bicep to my forearm is starting to cramp up and become a problem. About 6 rounds for the pull-ups right now. When that happens, gotta be really careful. I have to continue to ease into it. I gotta slow down my pace, really listen, because that's where injuries can happen. Super frustrating because I want to keep going, but getting the injury is far, 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 far worse. Really be aware of your body and what's going on. Know when your limit is, and don't let your ego trick you into going more. Fucking injuries are way worse than just missing out on a couple rounds. The swim though, half-mile swim, the opposite direction of the ocean. It's challenging. My hamstring cramped up about halfway through, and I had to figure out how to basically swim with one leg for a while until it basically stopped cramping.
So clearly at week 5, the theme keeps repeating. Really prone to injury. I had to really prioritize kind of slowing down a bit and just really being aware of my body and making sure that it could be prepared for the next workout, so I wasn't gonna actually hurt myself.
Like, got dehydrated pretty quick though, so I'm gonna have to really remember to really stock up on electrolytes in my water bottle and probably make it like quite intense, because I'm sweating like crazy, very dehydrating. Again, I keep getting this where I cramp up on the last part of the run. You're gonna get tired, you're gonna get exhausted, your body's gonna wanna quit. Doesn't matter how fit you are. It's about that grit, it's about learning to find a pace. You don't burn yourself out, so you can't just not complete the workout.
Again, same theme, you're seeing it repeating. That way you know what to do when you start this challenge. This was the biggest thing that I saw, the most important thing to really focus on.
I've been going around town finding these pull-up bars, and the entire time in my building, there's been a pull-up bar on my rooftop I had no idea about. Something I've decided I want to do after I finish this challenge is every morning and every evening, do 1 round of 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups, and 30 body squats. I want to maintain what this challenge has done for me. You know, over the years of working out, I've noticed the difference between being like lazy and like an excuse of, oh, I don't feel like I have enough energy, and feeling exhausted, like too much cortisol. Kind of learned what too much cortisol feels like, stress hormone. And that's kind of more of a burnout vibe. So as much as I don't like doing this, I'm gonna take the day off today. Next week is test week, so I want to be prepared for that.
Pretty funny, I laughed pretty hard. I actually was editing a video and I realized there's a bar up there. Again, that gauge of really learning and understanding how far you can push yourself without over pushing it, but then not under pushing it. And that's this nice fine line balance of not injuring yourself, but not coming up with excuses and not showing up. So it's really up to you to gauge that and really learn that in yourself, because that's, I think, an amazing intuition to learn to use for your life in the future for anything else.
Understanding how to pace yourself and also be aware of how there's a balance between knowing how far you can go, because you know you can push yourself more, and how far it's too much. Really be able to gauge. Yeah.
Like, don't overdo the RPMs on it.
Right, but don't underdo it either.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta still be able to push yourself,
Sweet spot.
but don't burn yourself out. Like, there it is. The full completion. We're done. Fucking 8 weeks. 54:45. 5 minutes to spare. 8 weeks. Murph challenge done. Got to end it right at the beautiful beach here. Man, I remember when I started this challenge, it was like I couldn't do 7 rounds of push-ups because my triceps and my pecs would just burn out. It's pretty dope to be able to finish. I'm happy and grateful that I did it under time. I'm not gonna lie to you and say it didn't feel like a grind sometimes. Times when I didn't want to do it, for sure. But that's a big part of the challenge. It was fun to do it. It feels great to complete it, especially at the beginning. I just couldn't.
Physically, I would say for sure pecs increased size, shoulders increased size, which was a goal for me because that's something I never really worked on too much in my earlier fitness career. My endurance definitely increased, so my ability to do more pull-ups skyrocketed. I think I'd cap out at like 10 or 12 reps, and now I can just probably pump out 20. Same with push-ups. And also just the mental grit was helpful too. The Murph is really grindy and difficult energy-wise. It's gonna be uncomfortable, you're gonna wanna give up. Any athlete really is gonna feel that. So it really helped build the mental strength and mental, I think David Goggins calls it the mental callus, that helps to get through the workout. And also through other things in life, which has been really helpful to be able to focus and get things done, even when things are feeling uncomfortable, or if you don't want to do it. And that's something I'm a big advocate for when it comes to people doing this kind of stuff, is to build that mental callus. It's the balance between continuing to show up and do such a full exhausting workout 2-3 times a week. So the ability to balance just the exertion of how much energy that is and recovery, and taking that into consideration as being such a priority, because you can't go do a full Murph and then take like a day off and then go do another one if you're not actually recovering properly. It's just not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to show up. Yeah, I think the biggest issue for me was that things were always in a different place in terms of where I was doing the workout. I didn't have the proper equipment. I didn't have the proper running shoes. So every time I went to do a workout, I had to like process where I was gonna go, what I was gonna do. I had to like measure my running route on Google Maps. I would definitely recommend that if you're going to do this, it's gonna be much easier if you have a set of place that you've already figured out where to do it, where you've already measured everything, and you just go there and you do it. I think the biggest thing would be to really be honest with yourself when you're doing kind of the pre-test to see what bracket you fit in, so beginner, intermediate, advanced, and just be really honest with yourself, because if you're just squeezing out enough and you're like, I can do it, probably better to go to the lower bracket. It is gonna get quite challenging, and you can do it if you really work hard at it, but I would be more concerned that you're gonna injure yourself. Yeah, and definitely prioritize proper range of motion and form over just completing it in like a sloppy way. I'm a big advocate for posture and full range of motion. It's gonna be the most valuable thing you can do for yourself longevity-wise. So as you get older, you actually have built that proper range of motion, that proper full strength, and you're not working with like tight, stiff muscles with a weaker range of motion, because that's really gonna just make life harder to have to go back and fix that as you get older. Well, sleep's the biggest one, and I think that's something that people really overlook. You know, people think that they can just have 6 hours of sleep, that's fine. And studies show over and over again that you need 8 hours, 7 to 8, and that means you should be in bed for 8.5 to 9, because you don't sleep the whole time you're in bed, right? So sleep is gonna be the number one thing for recovery, especially if you're not doing steroids or some sort of growth hormone or some sort of performance enhancing drug that's gonna help you recover faster. You gotta do the old fashioned way like me. You need to prioritize your sleep and your recovery. So just a tip for getting better sleep would be having proper sleep hygiene, which basically means you go to bed and wake up generally around the same time, within 30 minutes to an hour, because the way your body works is it's not about getting 8 hours if you move it a bunch. It's about the consistent range that you always stay in, because then your body knows a cycle, your body knows a rhythm. Do that, and then also have a good bedtime routine. An hour before going to bed, start to wind down, stop looking at screens, don't eat any more food. These kinds of things to prime your body to be able to get into that rest state better. When it comes to nutrition, make sure you're eating a gram of protein per lean body mass. You want to look at how much muscle mass you have and or the goal. We're not counting for 40-50 pounds of fat if that's where you're at, whatever's going on. We're not adding grams of protein to that. Protein is going to be your number one thing. Make sure that you have electrolytes in your water. You know, you get the tablets, you get the liquid, put it in your water bottle.
Are you a cutie? You pumpkin cutie.
Ready to pound back a bunch of food. Jesus Christ.
Mosquitoes are always a fucking bitch too. Yeah, sweating buckets, right? When that sun comes out, it gets fucking hot, I tell ya. That's a little bit too creepy. It's a bit of an edge. A little bit creepy. So I think I'll just do regular squats. So you get the nice Tulum background. Dogs barking all the time. Wild dogs. I'm gonna go chill, enjoy this nice sunsets. Well, that's a wrap for week 5, day 2. I'm gonna go chill now, enjoy the sunset. It's hot. Morning sun UV is just cooking us alive right now.
What's your favorite thing about Tulum?
It's how whenever you want a service, you order something, pair a guy, whatever, they're most likely gonna show up at 9 o'clock on a Friday night to start doing stuff. It smells like shit all of a sudden. The fuck? Whew.
How much fun are we having?
So much fun.
10 out of 10.
If you guys found this video helpful and want to see more content like this, like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. I'm going to be doing challenges ongoing, always changing it up, asking you guys what you think I should be doing. Up next is handstand push-ups. See you there.